Let me tell you something right now. Choosing to go completely silent and cutting ties with a narcissist is genuinely one of the most grueling and courageous decisions you will ever make in your life. If you are here listening to this right now, it means you have either already taken that massive step or you are seriously considering it. But I need to share a vital truth with you. Just because you have decided that you are completely finished with them does not mean they are done with you. In fact, the exact second you choose to go quiet is the precise moment their actual game begins. This is because narcissists never simply pack up and walk away. They do not operate that way. Instead, they plan, they plot, and they wait patiently in the shadows. They are not staying silent because they suddenly respect the boundary you set. They are not keeping their distance because they have peacefully moved on with their lives. They are quiet simply because they are calculating their very next move. Today, I am pulling back that heavy curtain for you. I am going to reveal the 7 hidden things a narcissist secretly wants from you the moment you cut them off. I am not talking about the obvious drama everyone sees. I am talking about what is happening deep in the background. I want to show you what they are hoping you will do, what they are waiting to see, and exactly why your silence does not bring them peace. For them, it is pure strategy. If you have ever doubted your choice, or if you have ever wondered why you still feel like they are constantly pulling at your emotions, I need you to stay with me. Because by the time you finish listening to this, you will see their exact game plan with absolute clarity. Even better, you will know precisely how to win the game. When you go completely silent and cut contact with a narcissist, it automatically triggers a powerful reaction inside them. It might not look like a massive argument or a direct, open fight right away. Sometimes it manifests as something incredibly small. It could be a simple social media post, an unexpected like on your feed, a view on your story, or a quick random message. They will try anything that proves to them they can still get under your skin. When you go completely silent, their mind does not interpret that action as the final end of the relationship. They view your absence as a direct challenge and a test of their personal power. Trust me when I say they are absolutely watching you. They closely monitor your every single move, even when it looks to the outside world like they have completely forgotten you exist. Why do they do this? Because your silence is not just regular silence to them. They perceive it as a direct threat to the absolute control they once held over your life. Narcissists survive entirely on attention. It truly does not matter to them if that attention comes in the form of love or intense anger. To them, it is all just emotional supply. When you cut off contact, it is as if you have completely shut off their oxygen. That silence and peace you are creating is incredibly powerful for you, but it is utterly unbearable for them. It confuses them, it frustrates them deeply, and it makes them question their grip on you. They absolutely hate not knowing exactly how you feel. What they detest even more is the mere thought that you might actually be doing perfectly fine without them in your life. So, what do they do when faced with this? They begin to poke at you. At the very beginning, these pokes are quite small. They might look at your social media story, but never type a single word to you. They might post something incredibly vague on their own profile that sounds exactly like it is aimed directly at your situation. They might casually ask a mutual friend how you are doing, or they might leave a comment somewhere that references your shared past, hoping the message eventually reaches you. Every single bit of this behavior is deliberate bait. They desperately want a reaction from you. Any response from your side proves to them that you are still actively participating in their game, even if you firmly believe you are not. This is precisely where the situation becomes dangerous for your healing. Narcissists know your personal patterns inside and out. They know exactly what buttons to push to get under your skin. If they realize they cannot force you to talk to them, they will settle for forcing you to feel. If they cannot physically drag you back into their chaotic world, they will happily settle for living inside your mind. They want you to sit alone, replaying the last big fight over and over again. They want you constantly checking their social profiles, wondering if they are genuinely happy without you. They want you feeling angry or deeply sad, because every single emotional reaction you have, even the ones you never show them outwardly, feeds them a sense of power. They do not necessarily need you to send a text message. They just need to feel certain that you still care. That knowledge is their ultimate victory. If you still care about them, it means they still control the game. The second you react even the slightest bit, whether through a tiny comment, a post that sounds emotional, or a shared quote, they know the door is still open. If that door remains open, they know they can step right back into your life whenever they choose. Now let us look closely at the intense mind games they play during this period of no contact. Sometimes they will deliberately disappear on purpose, hoping you will start desperately wondering why they went away. They want you to question why they are not trying to reach out to you. They want you to wonder if they forgot you that quickly, or if they ever truly cared about you at all in the first place. That silence they are giving you is completely staged. It is not peacefulness, it is direct provocation. They are using their absence as a weapon to make you doubt the validity of your choice. They want your internal confusion to build up so much that it pushes you into breaking the silence and contacting them. The exact second you send a text, or the second you reach out in any way, the game is over. They have successfully won back their control. They do not just want a reaction from you. They completely expect it. They rely heavily on it. They truly believe in their hearts that you will not last without them. They assume you will miss them, second guess your decisions, and eventually give in to the urge to contact them. If they discover they cannot get to you directly, they will start coming at you indirectly. They will post subtle, coded messages online, spread half-truths about the situation to others, or suddenly start showing off a brand new relationship. They do not do this because they have genuinely moved on with their lives. They do it because they want to make sure you are still watching them. They want to ensure you still feel something shifting inside you. Feelings equal attention, and attention always equals control in their world. Every single move they make during a period of no contact is deeply calculated. It is never a sign of personal progress. It is pure manipulation. They are not trying to move forward. They are actively trying to pull you backward into the past. They want to reset the exact same painful cycle you just escaped. They want to make absolutely sure that even when you are completely silent, they still hold a massive space in your daily thoughts. Every single day, you manage to stay quiet. You are successfully taking back your personal strength piece by piece. When a narcissist completely loses access to your life, they do not suddenly become self-aware. They do not feel genuine regret for the pain they caused you. What they do instead is attempt to twist your silence into a weapon of guilt. They want to turn your quietness into a distorted mirror that makes you doubt your own character. They crave your guilt, your second guessing, and your emotional confusion. They know that guilt is one of the strongest emotional chains in existence. If they cannot touch you physically, they will work tirelessly to live rent-free inside your mind. For them, your silence is not just a form of rejection. It feels like absolute humiliation to them. It is a direct, bruising attack on their fragile ego. Instead of facing that harsh truth about themselves, they completely rewrite the story of what happened. Suddenly, in their version of events, you are the one who is being cold and heartless. You are the one who walked away without even trying to fix things. You seamlessly become the villain in the narrative they create. This total role reversal is incredibly powerful because it can easily make you question your own sense of reality. You might find yourself starting to replay every single past conversation and every old argument, wondering where things went wrong. They absolutely want that to happen. They want you completely lost in that exhausting emotional loop. They want you so deep in it that you start completely forgetting the painful reasons why you went no contact in the first place. They want you remembering only the good moments, the initial charm and the laughter, while completely ignoring the manipulation and the deep pain they inflicted. They want you thinking that maybe you overreacted to the situation. They want you telling yourself that maybe they were not actually that bad, or that perhaps you gave up on them too soon. That specific doubt is their secret back door into your life. If they can plant even a single tiny seed of shame in your mind, they know it is only a matter of time before you start feeling like you owe them something. You might feel like you owe them a text, a detailed explanation, or just one more chance. Narcissists are absolute masters at using your own natural empathy against you. That empathy is the exact reason they chose you in the first place. Your deep compassion, your unwavering loyalty, and your emotional depth represent everything they completely lack. And they feed off those qualities. When they realize they cannot guilt you into returning to them, they will start guilt-tripping you simply for leaving them. They will act as though they are completely broken, abandoned, and deeply misunderstood by the world. They will play the victim role perfectly. They might not always do this directly to your face, but they will do it through other people. They will use mutual friends, strategic social media posts, or a subtle, heavy silence that tugs directly at your conscience. It is a highly effective form of manipulation that requires absolutely no direct contact with you. It works incredibly well, especially when you are still in the early stages of healing. For a truly kind and empathetic person, carrying a sense of guilt feels completely unbearable. Narcissists know this fact intimately. They count on it to work. They do not actually want your love. They simply want your emotional energy. They want to cause you intense inner turmoil. That invisible tension you carry around late at night when you start thinking that maybe you were just too harsh on them, or that perhaps you were simply too sensitive, is their ultimate goal. They love to hand you their own emotional mess and then stand back completely detached to watch if you will step forward to clean it up for them. They do not want peace for either of you. They want total confusion. They want to manipulate your strength so it feels like cruelty to you. And they want your healthy distance to feel like an act of betrayal. When guilt begins to grow inside you, it does not just whisper quietly. It screams loudly. Narcissists know exactly how to make that scream echo loudly until it completely fills your entire mind. Even without any active contact, they still want to maintain control over your life. They want to live inside your thoughts completely rent-free. They want your obsession. They do not want the kind of obsession where you actively chase after them down the street. They want the specific kind where you simply cannot stop replaying every single thing that happened between you. They want you wondering what you could have possibly done differently to change the outcome. And they want you constantly thinking about what they are doing right now. That is their actual objective. If they can no longer possess your physical body or dominate your daily schedule, they will settle for stealing your internal peace. In their minds, being actively remembered, constantly thought about, or even deeply detested still gives them an immense feeling of power. When you find yourself continuously replaying old arguments late at night, or imagining exactly what they might say to you if you ever spoke again, that is a sign they are still pulling the strings from afar. They deliberately constructed that mental loop inside your head on purpose. Over time, they carefully conditioned you to constantly question yourself, to keep holding on to hope, and to always try to fix their problems. However, every single time you successfully fight off the urge to reach out to them, you break that destructive loop just a little bit more. You gradually begin replacing their critical voice with your own true thoughts. You stop asking yourself if they will ever change for the better, and you start telling yourself that you deserve a life filled with absolute calm. That is the precise moment where your true power begins to return. This is because narcissists can only survive and thrive in places where chaos actively exists. The more you consciously choose peace for your life, the less oxygen they have to breathe. The more completely silent you choose to remain, the more invisible and weak their control over you becomes. Your choice to maintain distance is not a sign of weakness at all. It is a sign of your recovery. It marks the definitive end of their illusion and the beautiful beginning of your absolute freedom. When you spend your time constantly analyzing their actions, trying desperately to decipher their mixed signals, or routinely checking their social media pages to see if they have uploaded something new, you are feeding them. That specific kind of fixation is pure energy. It is intense attention. They absolutely love knowing that they still hold that massive amount of influence over your emotions without even having to utter a single word to you. To them, your ongoing focus means the deep bond between you is not actually broken. In their eyes, it has simply shifted form. They do not need to speak with you directly when they have already managed to take up a massive amount of permanent residence inside your mind. This internal entrapment is exactly why narcissists deliberately end relationships in an ocean of complete confusion. They almost never provide you with real closure. They will absolutely refuse to take responsibility for their actions. They will never explain their behavior honestly, and they definitely will not acknowledge the deep pain they have caused you. Instead, they simply vanish into thin air. They ghost you. They discard you without a second thought. Or they might turn completely cold and distant without a single word of warning, because they know intimately that confusion is the absolute quickest path to creating an obsession inside your mind. The human brain naturally detests open endings. It desperately wants resolution and answers. So when someone suddenly disappears from your life or completely flips the narrative with zero explanation, your mind naturally races to fill in the blank spaces. You find yourself trying to discover deep meaning within the chaotic mess they left behind. That is exactly what they count on you doing. The more time you spend overthinking the situation, the more they remain in complete control of your life. Sometimes they will even deliberately sprinkle a tiny bit of false hope right before they vanish. Maybe they casually mentioned a future path with you, or perhaps they apologized just enough to keep you feeling highly uncertain about where things stood. They might have told you that they just need a little bit of space for a short while. Those are never innocent comments made in good faith. They are calculated breadcrumbs and psychological hooks designed specifically to keep you wondering if they will eventually come back, if they truly meant the things they said, or if you should actively wait around for them. Every single second you spend trapped inside that exhausting mental loop is a massive victory for them. Even their prolonged silence can be highly calculated. By staying completely quiet, they know your own mind will willingly do the heavy lifting for them. You will naturally begin to wonder why they are not reaching out to you. You will question if they ever cared about you at all, or if you did something terribly wrong to push them away. That vast emptiness becomes a loud echo chamber that keeps you heavily addicted to thinking about them as you try endlessly to fill in the blanks. They might not send you direct text messages, but they will happily post something highly suggestive online. They might share a vague caption or a specific photo that seems to display how incredibly happy they are moving on with their life without you. None of that behavior is accidental or random. It is engineered specifically to keep you spinning in an emotional circle. The intense obsession they create within you is not actually about genuine love, nor is it about missing the good times you shared. It is entirely about maintaining emotional control over you. They want your healing process to be incredibly slow and painful. They want your self-confidence to remain permanently tied to their validation and approval. They want your memories of them to consistently interrupt your peace, your rest, and your personal progress.